I was 22 years old when I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I was just about to graduate from college. And I thought to myself, man, why did I even go to college? It was a new philosophy that finally sunk in. The rich do this, the poor do this. I started to understand what an asset was. I went to school, they never taught what an asset was. I used to think it was just something that you owned. I used to think a college degree was an asset. The way I look at it now after reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad is an asset is something that makes you money. That belief system is incredible to adopt for the very first time. It's like you start to feel something that maybe was dormant in your brain, in your soul. And the moment that light switch went on, it was like I became obsessed with reading and writing. And how far can I take this? If I'm only finding out about this now, what else have I overlooked throughout my entire life? And so at 22 or 23, that is whenever I started to kind of fall in love with embracing change. That's when I went out and became a licensed real estate agent, bought my first real estate property. That's whenever I started 4 different businesses from the ground up, zero, starting a business from nothing, failed miserably, started a 5th business, it succeeded, made a little bit of money, turned that into a book, put that out into the world, got speaking gigs, got attention online, and then my life changed even more, where I started to create this identity. And then I started asking better questions of myself and other people. And I started to fall in love with change. Man, how far can I take this business, this idea, this new identity? And that clarity is a superpower. So I believe if you're out there and you're looking to up your life in every shape and form, you need to embrace change. You need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And it sounds scary in the beginning, but you fall in love with it. Because then there are days that you will wake up and you say you have enough money in your bank account to last a while. Everything is coasting really well. You don't have to put yourself in too much danger for a while. You'll know because of the instinct inside of you that that's a recipe for disaster if you stay too long. Your soul needs some type of hill to climb. Why is there a snake in the garden when it comes to the Bible? And why is there evil in the world? Why is there that choice to make? Well, it's because the choice is what makes you great. Choosing what's difficult is what makes you stronger. Going up the hill, pursuing something that is out of reach at this moment, and choosing the hard is what makes you formidable. So if you want to become weak, if you want to become soft, if you want to become a pushover, do the opposite. Do not embrace change. And if that's the recipe for weakness and being a pushover and being crushed by society and by other people, then you know that the only real goal is to go after what's difficult. And what's difficult is asking the scary questions of yourself and other people. Not taking the groupthink mentality as gospel. Thinking for yourself. Reading and writing nonstop. Writing is the deepest level of thought. And as you start to write more in life, right? Write down where you're at, where you were at, where you are at, and where you are going. You start to have this big picture of maybe the transformational journey, the hero's arc, if you will. And we talk a lot about that with our clients, the hero's journey, this transformation. What makes every great story a great story? Well, it's transformation. You start off in a safe place, and then you have this calling, and then you ignore the calling, and then you say it's time to adopt the calling. So you go in, and then you start to find out that outside of the gates of this comfort zone, it gets scary. It gets real scary. And then you have to dig down deep in your soul, and you have to pull out the sword, and you have to fight those dragons that try to keep you from obtaining your goal. And then you have to go into the cave a little bit further, into a creepier area of life, and you have to fight those dragons. And then you learn something about yourself, and then you have to take what you've learned as a key and open the door into another part of your life. Every step of the way, you're constantly learning. You are constantly developing. You are constantly embracing change. You need to learn how to adapt in every situation. And you need to figure out how to play towards your strengths. Because as you develop as a person, you are going to get stronger in some areas and weaker in others. As long as those strong areas are areas that produce a lot of great results in your life, hopefully as an entrepreneur, those great strengths produce revenue, but also produce freedom and produce more of that life inside of you.